Here we are with day 8. We are on day 8 of my bold and fearless 30-day challenge. We have been talking a lot about the things that um, I've made mistakes in. We've been talking a lot about my deep beliefs. We've even been talking a lot about what services I provide, and today I want to take a little bit of a turn and have a little twist on this conversation about how you can get the biggest return on your investment in working with me. And I want to do it a different way because I'm not used to feeling, or I'll say I have felt most vulnerable when I talk to people about my services. And the reason is because I'm recovering and in recovery from imposter syndrome. As I have shared with you guys over the years and even over this past week since I've started on this challenge, um, a lot has come up for me. For me, are all the times in which I've silently suffered, whether it was in pain because of my blood condition, sickle cell, whether it's because I started my career out as a therapist and ended up with PTSD because of dealing with traumatic events in my life, um, all the way back from when I was a kid, whether it was from physical abuse, emotional abuse, um, all the different types of abuse, really. Um, it's really come around full circle for me to share this particular fearless challenge. And as it sort of like gives the feel for being fearless, I'm having to like push these words out. Um, this is the thing, in this place of having imposter syndrome for so long, I realized that having imposter syndrome and not sharing my gifts with the world, meaning things that God poured into me way before I even existed, where I was to make a difference. And I truly believe that my gift in discernment, my gift in being able to hear and see what's really going on with someone has helped me tremendously in my work. However, I had spent 11 years in a government position where all of my clients were just supplied to me. So I know I speak for a lot of introverts when I say that when you have a gift that requires you to speak up and speak out, you sort of end up frozen, right? That whole stress response, flight, a lot of times we freeze and or get out of the situation. And so I want to push beyond that today. And I want to talk specifically to the people that I believe have been the most ideal for me to work with, for me to really be able to say that 100% satisfaction guaranteed for my services. I have never had anyone who was my ideal client need a refund. Okay. And the reason being is that my ideal client comes from this place of being someone who also struggles with imposter syndrome. You've been through so much, and those events make it difficult for you to believe that your place in the world is any bigger than in the four walls and four corners of your office, for some, your home office. Um, where it's difficult. It's difficult to put yourself out there. You have all these dreams, literal dreams, where God has been nudging you to move forward. And it's been difficult because it seems like every time you take a step forward, that cloud of doubt comes in. Um, you may seem to other people very um, outgoing. You may seem to be very fearless already and an extrovert to many, and you're not. Behind the scenes, you may be having panic attacks. Man, you're having anxiety attacks. Behind the scenes, you're dealing with depression. Behind the scenes, you're even becoming jaded and to the point of resenting the fact that other people seem to have it easy to speak up, to present, to do public speaking, to sit up in that C suite office and take that promotion without feeling like, oh, somebody else deserves it. You're always pushing other people ahead of yourself, even when it comes down to your overall well being. There's something that happened, or some things, like in my case, that happened that prevents you from going full speed ahead into a place of boldness. But you've also achieved a lot. Maybe even like me, you've achieved a lot because it was your way of staying busy to deal with maybe past trauma, past hurt, to keep yourself busy because you were anxious. And it just so happens to have led to a business. It just so happens to have led to this major degree, this certification. But yet behind the scenes, you're still struggling. Behind the scenes, no one knows that you've been trying to bring a certain vision to life. And it's like right on the edge, like you're right there. These are the type of people that when they work with me, you get the biggest result because I have been there. And I know that that's for a lot of people a sales pitch. Like, I know you're like me, but the truth of the matter is, I went 100% into my business of really helping people bring their visions to life, align with their purpose, bring their purpose and or their ministry into their business, because it was the spiritual download from God at my weakest, most, as I say, dysfunctional time. I had to stop doing therapy. I had to stop because I was no good to anybody. I was dealing with the death of my dad from COVID. I was dealing with then my grandmother dying and then my uncle dying because of grief from his mother dying, my grandmother dying. It was a lot. And while a part of my healing was being a blessing to others, God made it very clear to me that the people that I'm to work with are also people that are believers, those that are listening to his voice, those who have also a story that they haven't quite shared, that they haven't quite told. Um, and they need to hear my story. Some, or I'll say most, I've noticed have been in a place of a one-on-one private setting. I don't let people know, the folks that I work with. Usually people just drop into my DMs or email me and say, hey, I saw you here. I saw you in the news or whatever. And it's, I need help. I've gone through a divorce. And just so happens that people, my ideal clients, they've gone through some sort of relationship strain, some difficult situation, and they end up drawn to me. But this is the thing. Again, while you have gone through all these things and you have achieved, maybe even you've achieved your six figures, you've achieved multiple six figures, you're on the trajectory to 7, 8 figures. It's just that now you're spending your money trying to work happiness in. You're spending all of what you've earned and worked for to essentially be happy and feel connected when it's not working. The people that I work with know that at a certain point, that numb feeling, that depressing feeling, that heaviness, that spiritual heaviness, even some it translate as anxiety. It translate in overthinking, ruminating over situations, and going in circles and circles and circles. And the reason is because nothing is going to satisfy what it is that's missing but your ability to align with your God given purpose and put it into your business. Because for folks that are the best to work with me, your business is your ministry. My business became my ministry once I stepped away and realized that at first it was, well, I'm just good at this. Yeah, just I'm good at this. I appreciate it. Oh, yeah. And I would again in that place of imposter syndrome feel uneasy, feel uncomfortable sometimes to accept the feedback. But the thing is, you have a belief, but then you question whether or not you're doing enough, whether or not your efforts are enough. And then you end up adding on something else. But then not realizing that that adding on is essentially leading you to burnout. It's leading you to withdrawing. It's leading you to sort of stick behind these more traditional values, stick behind these easy to grab solutions. I know I've talked about manifestation, and you're trying to manifest it by your own will and your own might, when being a person that believes in Christ, believes in God, that you go to God, there is no manifestation personally. When you are a believer, you are held to a different standard, and you have to operate through the Holy Spirit. That's what I learned. And instead of being in a place where you're working and you're busy and you're building and you're pushing in your business, you're pushing in that professional setting wherein you're a leader, you're pushing even in a church setting, you're pushing and pushing and pushing, but you're not getting that spot scratched. Because when you are connecting your business, your ministry, your leadership role with your purpose, that's where things begin to come together in a place of alignment. So yes, you may have already achieved 6, 7, 8 figures, but you're spending a lot of money trying to work up something that you know is not being pacified, that's not being attended to. And that is the difference between what you're doing and making money on versus your purpose in the ministry that God has for you. It's a part of it, but you know that something's missing. These are the people that I work with. These are the people that know that when you work with me, you get results. But the thing is, you still desire joy. You just still desire to make all the money, and it's nothing wrong with that. You still desire to make a difference, nothing wrong with that. You still desire to reach global influence. I've out of nowhere in my struggling ended up on the news in Australia. I out of nowhere ended up consulting with a company in like the Netherlands. Like, where is this coming from? Have business associates in Australia. Now, is everything perfect? No. Are there still areas where I need to grow? Absolutely. But the thing is, when you are in alignment with God, then you are purposely understanding that there is a time and a season for everything. And the people that are going to get the most, return on investment from working with me are those that have a story that continues to creep up, and that's on replay, and you're tired of hearing that story. I was tired of hearing the story. And I decided to push beyond my fears of getting on here and sharing this, for one, to push beyond the story in my head that because I talk about my business, because I talk about God, because I talk about how you align your God given purpose with your business, that I'm going to lose friends, that I'm going to lose respect. Well, God gave me my doctorate. Mhm. God gave me these opportunities to have global impact. And truly, we just need to have a conversation on how we can work together to essentially support you doing the same. Because as much as I have, gleaned on and pulled together, just looking at other people moving, everybody has the same message. And that's God is trying to get us Christians, us faith based believers, those that believe in God, those that believe in his power to rise and be more bold. So if you're ready to finally bring your vision to life, you finally put the pieces together from which God has been sharing with you and revealing to you, if you're ready for that, and to finally see what it could be like to have an abundant, harmonious life, give it a test drive, just to see, in the Bible, God says, test me, try me. Not in a way of disrespect, but in a way of prove yourself. Prove that your faith in me means more than what you do in your prayer closet. Your faith means more than even these small things. Lord, let me get this parking spot. Lord, thank you. These small things. He said, try me even in the big things. And for those that have gained the big things, try me in these little things where you just make a little shift and see where it takes you. So this is my 8th day of my bold and fearless 30 challenge. And I want to challenge you today that if you have been silently slipping away, slipping into depression, slipping into anxiety, slipping into a complete place of isolation and spiritual heaviness, that you'd reach out and see how God moves in your life as he has for me. Okay? I am not for everybody. And I think I'm going to make a post about that. I am not for everybody. But I'm ready for those and am in a place of service to those who are truly ready to align your God given purpose with your business practices, because you really know, regardless of anything, that your business is actually your ministry. However, it stands out, regardless of the industry, your business is your ministry. And the DMs are open. Okay. You can also join, if you're not quite ready yet, you can also join our Facebook group. It is called Bold Christian Collective, the Bold Christian Collective. And this is where we provide just free resources to stay motivated, to align our business, to stay charged up and ready to do the things that God is having us to do. So again, the DMs are open. Feel free to reach out to me. And if you feel that you are one of those, you fit in that category of my ideal person to work with, again, just like everybody else, just reach out. Okay. You guys take care, stay blessed. And I'll see y'all later for my day 9 post. Okay. That's where we'll be talking about who the people are that we don't work with. Okay. Because we always want results, not just a waste of time. So you guys take care, be blessed. See you guys later. Bye.